The Be Still Devotions. Today we'll be talking about Matthew 5, 1 through 11, which says, "And seeing the multitudes, he went up on a mountain, and when he was seated, his disciples came to him. Then he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you, and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So Matthew 5, 1 through 11 is called the Beatitudes, which means supreme blessings. This sermon here is what God used to talk about how followers can be encouraged. Each characteristic that Christ described can be applied to the life of the believer. There will be times when we are poor in spirit, mourning, and we have to be meek. We will thirst and hunger for righteousness, and we'll always have to be merciful, pure in heart, peacemakers, and we will be persecuted. But Christ gives comfort for each of the characteristics. They are an encouragement to stay true to the faith. He promises the kingdom of heaven. Comfort the earth that will be filled with righteousness, and that we will obtain mercy, and we'll see God in person, and will be called his sons, or even children of God. These are blessings for those who follow Christ. But what is promised to those who reject Christ and follow the world? Well, in Luke 6, 24 through 26, we get the woes. And Jesus says in verse 24 of Luke chapter 6, "But woe to you who are rich, for you have rejected your consolation, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are full, for you shall hunger. Woe to you who laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Woe to you when all men speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets." These woes are warnings. He warns those who are rich that they received all their good in life. A reference to the parable of Lazarus and the rich ruler. He received all his good in life, whereas Lazarus had suffered in life. It was a comfort for their future suffering. They were comforted in life with their riches to kind of offset this eternal suffering they will suffer in life. Now, does it say that everyone who is rich will suffer in the end? No, only those who reject Christ. Followers of Christ come from many walks of life, and God provides us the tools for ministry that he wants us to be used in. And some have been gifted with wealth to fund ministries and feeding the hungry, give shelter to the homeless, and so on and so forth. It is all about the heart of the matter of whether you receive or reject Christ. But those who reject Christ are rich. They are full on the worldly pleasures in life. They've gained the whole world and lost their souls. These worldly blessings have caused them to believe they don't need God. This even applies for those who seek the riches of the world for their own purposes, even though they may not have them, but they are so obsessed with becoming rich and going beyond those who are in need. They proclaim that they are their own masters in life. And in Luke 16, 19 through 31, Jesus talked about how it is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven in Matthew 19, 23. It is a heart issue. Their money becomes their source of security, their God in a sense. Now, for those who are full, the gluttons, from the following of the ways of the world, they will hunger. They took more than their fair share and do not care about the hunger of the world. Their focus is on their satisfaction and not helping others. And then there's those who laugh, mock the gospel of Christ. They'll mourn and weep. They see God's plans as foolish. They mock it and try to bully others to reject it. Justice will have them begging for the gospel, but it will be too late. People will speak well of them, for they are pleasers of the world, and are just like the false prophets before. They seek attention and fame, and say whatever is needed to get the itching ears of the crowds. Jesus divides the people into two sides. His argument is that the world judges on the value of how much we can get, where Jesus places value on how much we can give of ourselves through his guidance. Overall, it is blessed to sacrifice for Christ than to live for the trap of fame and fortune of the world. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and remember, Jesus is coming soon.